For me, the brand Volkswagen, I guess there's two fronts, if you will. I think the first front, it has a lot of personal meaning to me. I think like a lot of Americans, everyone has a story. So, my father went to West Point. My parents then went to Germany. And, my twin sisters were born in Germany. Of course, while being in Germany, they got to see a fair amount of Volkswagens. And of course, when they returned, they purchased a Volkswagen Beetle. I can remember quite well. We were a family of 5 kids. I was the youngest, and my seat was in the back. We'd call it the third row of an Atlas, so it was the third row of the Beetle. And you remember it vividly. You remember the sound, the smells, the vibrations, the whole aura of the car. The first vehicle I got to drive, the car I learned on, was a Volkswagen Rabbit C and the manual transmission, so a lot of personal memories. But I think, what does it stand for? I think the core of Volkswagen to me always been, first and foremost, the people's. It's always the people's brand, which means it's accessible, it's available, it's approachable. And the fact that you could get great technology and great quality at this great approachable people's price, that's the core of Volkswagen. I think a lot of things complicate it and sway it, but that's what it is at its core to me. I think first and foremost, I have a lot of pride being in this position, getting a chance to represent this great brand, yet represent it in a country that I love, obviously, and being an American. I think the first point is you don't want to have a skill set that's just American. You want to bring your own skill set and your own contributions, and then of course where you come from is the added element. But I think in my mind, when people look at it, you always want a sense of permanence. There's an expression in English, are you an owner or are you a renter? And when dealers look at it, when employees look at it, oftentimes if it's someone who's not American, they'll say, well, the person's renting. The person's not going to stay too long. And it doesn't have that sense of roots. And I think one of the important things that people feel this is something that has some roots and some establishment. I think the second thing is the culture. There's a mountain of cultural nuances. When you're asking dealers to invest millions of dollars, when you're asking employees to push further, and how you navigate that is something that's very hard to understand if you're not from the country. I think the third biggest point to me, honestly, is to hit the trends. And there's a few simple things about the US market that, frankly, we missed. I think one thing about the US market is you have to be fanatical on cost. It's the biggest cost pressure environment there is. The second one is we've got to hit these major trends. Things like SUVs. Yes, we're doing a good job of catching up, but this has been in the market now for nearly 30 years, and we have to hit them faster. The other one, of course, is this sense of speed and urgency. A US consumer sees something and says, can I have it tomorrow? And I think we've got to get a lot more speed. So I think these are some things, and you got to keep pushing and pushing, and we get there. But it's, again, a great opportunity. In my mind, it's a crucial moment. As I said, it's also a moment of great opportunity. I always look at the beginning of a Formula One race. Everything happens at the beginning, and you can go from the 4th or 5th row to the 1st row at the snap of a finger. In the traditional car business, where basically it comes down to scale, in SUV segments, you're going against 7, 8, 9 competitors. It's hard to gain ground. But electrification gives us a unique chance. There are no 100-year-old electric car brands. There are no electric car nameplates that have been around for dozens of years. There is a market reset. And you're a brand in our position, 2% market share, a relatively small player with a really strong parent looking after us. This is a chance of a reset. It gives us a chance to win. I think the second thing goes back to our very roots. The roots of Volkswagen in America is we provided incredible transportation to the masses. And we have that opportunity with electric mobility, just like we did with the Beetle back in the 50s or 60s. For me, this is exciting, exciting, exciting thing. So I love the reset, I love the jump ball, and I love that we can bring electrified mobility to the masses. Great opportunity. To me, it's quite clear. You need this great equation of range, price, range, price. So we've been working hard and pushing executive with all the board members to make sure we get the range. Because at least starting out, that's what people want. You can have all the great technology, you can have all the gaps and all the finishes and all the audit scores. If you don't have range, price, you're not in the game. Now I think we are getting there, it's fantastic. Once you clear that hurdle, then you just want to bring the magic of Volkswagen. Great design, innovation with the LED lights, but you've got to get the first hurdle. Before they're going to get in your showroom, get to the website, range, price. I think we're there. I think we're getting very close, and that's what excites me. This is a massive undertaking, and when you look at it, decades of consumers have filled their car up with gas. Everyone I know has filled their car up with gas. 95% of Americans have never sat inside an electric vehicle. So this is a breathtaking undertaking that we're talking about. When you have things like that, it's always important to simplify. And when you simplify, in my mind, the number one thing we need is one of the greatest, what I call, trial experiments that's ever taken place. We have to get people inside the cars to drive them. There's all sorts of myth build-up. Can I drive it in the rain? Will it work in the rain? This is the level of understanding that people have. So we've been talking about it for 10, 15 years now. Consumers, it's just arriving. So we have to get trial. The second thing we have to do is, of course, build that belief system with the dealers. They're a representative out there, and when I look at dealers, what do they want? They want an edge in the marketplace. They want a new business opportunity. And we just got back from Chattanooga. We had 900 dealers in a room, and we feel we're giving them that edge. There won't be 10 competitors with an ASUV at this price point. So it's a chance for them to really attack the market, and once they believe that, then anything can happen. I think dealers' belief system is all predicated on can they see it and touch it. So a good example is we showed them the ASUV, we showed them the directional price of the car, we even showed them the monthly lease payment of the car. A lot of people look at religion, and do you believe when you see it or do you believe when you feel it? Dealers, they don't believe when they feel it, they believe it when they see it. Tangible thing that you actually feel. And now that we've done that, the belief system is coming. And that's exactly what they want. They want a very competitive car that's going to give them an edge, and I believe we have it. The first thing and the primary thing, we absolutely have to 100% utilize that plant properly. As you know, we started with the Passat and the segment absolutely collapsed. Good news is we added the Atlas, and the Atlas is off to a good start. We're going to add the Crossport, and eventually, of course, we're going to add the EV there as well. But the primary thing, and this will be a big test this year, we're going to make nearly 200,000 cars out of that plant. So production is going to double next year. So we got to get to utilization. Here's a chance. The second thing, absolute stability. When you have different cars, volume going up, volume going down, the stability in the quality, stability in the audit scores. Once we have that, we can look to the future. And the future in my mind is, of course, we're going to build an electric car there. After that, we can look for a second vehicle on that platform. But first thing, get the plant utilized to drive the cost down. Second thing, stabilize quality, stabilize processes. This is the hub of the American marketplace. It'll feed us our most profitable car, the Atlas, and feed us our future dreams of electric vehicles. And that's what the plant needs to become. On top of that, obviously we have a lot of the purchasing power down there, and of course we have the alignment with local development and engineering with Dr. Demmelbauer is leading. So that's what I see as that plant. And I think it's pretty cool. If you look at a place like Chattanooga, Tennessee, that had 12 to 13% unemployment when we entered there, most of the work that was being done there was very menial, simple type of work. We are changing families, we are bringing new skills, we are bringing electrification. As an American, and talking to the governor, this is powerful stuff. We're changing families, and that's also the responsibility of a brand. To me, it's just simple logic. If you look at the segment that the ID3 competes in, let's call it the classic hatchback segment. In America, unfortunately, that's about 100,000 cars. If you look at what we're gonna do with the ASUV, that's 4 to 5 million cars. So look, we need to get the cars on the road, we need to show success, and you have to throw your best punch first. Had we come in with the ID3 and says, yeah, we're just testing it out, they would say, small, Euro car, more of a compliance car. As opposed to an ASUV, they're gonna say, well, that's in the heart of the market, the heart of the segment, that's a real car. Let's go. So it's an important thing. And we want to throw a good first punch. You never want to throw a weak first punch because you might not get a chance to throw a second one. I joined this position a little bit late. The car had already been shown, But I had about 5 to 6 experiences between dealers, customers, and that car. And in my 25 years of the automotive business, I've never seen a reaction like that. It puts a smile on people's faces. It just changes the room. And I haven't seen a vehicle do that before. And if you can imagine what that vehicle would be like on the road, what would it do for our brand? What would it do for our dealerships? What would it do for talk value? I think it's the coolest damn car I've seen in my career. And we got to work on it. We got to get it here, and that's what we intend to do. It could be a game changer.